It is time for another special edition of Litter Media Live, and today we're going to focus on Hopewell culture and World Heritage. It's all coming up next week with a special week-long celebration and recognition of World Heritage. Of course, this is our newest inscription area across the world, so we'll explain in just a moment. But first, these words from Classic Brands. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. In studio with us today, we have Susan Knisley. She is with the Hopewell Culture National Historic Park, and she is the Director of Interpretation and Education, and Melody Young from the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Executive Director. You have the job of telling everybody about coming to Ross County. You have the job of telling people about all this when they get here. What a nice combo we have here today. First of all, congratulations on the World Heritage designation. That is something that I know that there's been a long period of time applying for this, and it finally came to fruition. And I know we had Melody in to talk about it, but I haven't heard Susan's response to what it was like when you heard you're in.
It was amazing. I still get chills and emotional whenever I think back to that day, September 19th, and getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning so that I could get online and not miss a second, and watching the gavel fall and the consensus made that Hopewell Ceremonial Earthworks is now a World Heritage Site. It's still incredible. We're still living in that honeymoon phase, and it is a wonderful, wonderful chapter that we've started and opened up.
I think my initial feeling was, man, this is going to take, because we sat through so many of the other presentations, and there's going to be scrutiny left and right, and the next thing you know, they're like, it took 2 seconds to decide.
That's because we have had over 20 years of getting our homework done, and that's a lot of work, a lot of people behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. And I've been very fortunate and lucky to be an employee at the National Park throughout this entire process and seeing it in different levels. At the very end, having my hands involved in it. To be a part of this has been monumental for me and for so many people and so many in the community. Melody and others have stood by us and helped us for so long. It's a great achievement for everybody.
Yeah, I remember it's been maybe close to 10 years ago. Randy Davies at the time was the president of the Chillicothe Ross Chamber of Commerce, and he had said, it's not if it will happen, when it's going to happen. It finally has happened, and Melody, you've been here too. You've seen that light switch now go off for people that are locals, and they're starting to begin to get an understanding of what it means for us here locally.
And that's absolutely true. And a lot of us just not realizing and appreciating what's in your own backyard. I mean, we hear that all the time. I haven't been there for 20 years or since I was in school. Now they want to go out and they're like, wow, this has been here all along. So it's really good. It's good for our community. It's a sense of pride for our community. And this week, World Heritage Week, is really that. It's a chance for locals to learn more about these sites.
Yeah. So many people understand with the Ohio History Connection, people that have been working on this application for so many years. You all understand. Now it's a matter of getting others to be on board.
Right.
To enjoy what this means, first of all, and then to prepare for the visitors who are going to be here. Because as you and I have talked, Melody, we have seen other areas that have received inscription, and next thing you know, it is boom. Yes. Thousands upon thousands coming to your location.
Yeah, people are excited. They're excited of a new location. So, they've been waiting and hearing about it, but now it's actually happened. So now we want to come and see what everyone else is talking about.
Yeah.
Susan, do you want to talk a little bit about the serial nomination and how that works?
Yeah, sure. So the Hopewell Ceremonial Earthworks is the title of our nomination name That is what we are inscribed as. And that is a name that represents 8 separate earthworks. 3 with the Ohio History Connection, 5 with the National Park Service, with Hopewell Culture National Historical Park. What makes them a serial nomination is that they're all tied together with the same theme, the same cultural time period, the same cultural group and integrity of archaeology for those sites. Very similar to another World Heritage Site that is newly inscribed, the Frank Lloyd Wright sites. Those are sites that have to show that they were designed by the same architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. They are spread out around the country, but they are all unified by that same architect. Much like the Hopewell Culture sites, their architects are the Hopewell Culture time frame. So that means that you will not see Serpent Mound a part of this list with us because it is not a Hopewell Culture time period site. Miamisburg Mound, Trimper Mound, these wonderful earthworks that we have throughout the state of Ohio, which has thousands of wonderful earthworks. We tie together these 8 because they share that same story time period. And these others are being elevated by this indirect preservation of people realizing, wow, the world knows these sites are amazing. Now I should. And that's helping to get awareness to these sites. And Serpent Mound is on the tentative list for the World Heritage Inscription. And so now that will be a focal point for a team to work on that next. So this all helps just get more awareness. And I also have to say, you know, the other success story of this is the highlight of our American Indian partners that have worked so long beside us to see these sites be recognized and their work be recognized. That's an astounding achievement for them as well. And we have had so many of them come from Oklahoma to Ohio over these 23 years to help us move this forward. It's a wonderful way for the public to finally understand that our history goes back this far.
Mm-hmm. I know for many in the Newark area, the only time they went to visit this was to play golf. I know that's been a touchy subject here over the years, but to hear Chief Glenda when she was here talking about the first time she saw it, and it's like, you're playing golf on our burial grounds.
Right.
That's hard for people to capture in the modern era.
Right.
But work is continuing to be done to make that change.
Yeah, exactly. And for Hopewell Culture National Historical Park, we are working alongside our tribal partners for them to help us tell the story. We have so many new projects on the way that will be partnering and collaborating with them. Stuff we've already started over the past 5 years will now be highlighted even stronger with new opportunities for them to tell their story with us, not us talking to them. Mm-hmm. And it's a new shift, and it's one that's been needed for a very long time, and we're so excited for it.
I recall maybe 10, 15 years ago, we had a radio interview in studio, and the park ranger at the time was telling us about this is on the scale of the Egyptian pyramids and the Sphinx and the whole deal. And I remember as a kid seeing that for the first time in the encyclopedias and learning something, and then realizing, dang, he's probably right. It's right up there. And now that it's been officially designated by someone, now it's time to get the wheels rolling.
Right.
And that is kind of where Melody comes into play, because you're busy reaching out to other parts around the world to let people know about what's going on here.
Absolutely. So, yeah, now it's happened. Now we want people to come, not just from an economic standpoint, but to experience what our Native Americans did 2,000 years ago, right here in Chillicothe. We want them to come and have that experience and feel not just our excitement, but how authentic our town truly is today. So I think they'll love it once they get here. And we are telling the world. I mean, our advertising went to a 600-mile radius to the world almost overnight.
Yeah. And of course, you're trying to bring them here to see what we have designated as 10,000 years ago or so. But while you're here, enjoy the things that have been in our recent history within the last 150 to 200 years.
Absolutely. And not just in Ross County. We want Ohio to win with this. Our state tourism partners have been great. And yeah, would I like them to stay here 7 days? Yes. That's probably a little selfish. But we do want this to be a win for Ohio and see every site along the way.
Yeah. So stretching from Newark all the way down to Lebanon, we've got a lot to see there with those 8 earthworks. Having said that, we have next week, which will be recognizing all of these, and many of the sites will have events going on throughout the week. Now here locally in Chillicothe, you have just one day, is that correct?
No, well, ours is week long.
Is it? Okay.
We have an opening day, Monday, April 15th, for sharing the Hopewell with the World art exhibit. So that will be in the park, in the Mound City Group Visitor Center. It'll be an exhibit of student art on display. This is a program that we've partnered with for about 4 years now. This is our 4th year. This year, the theme is surrounding World Heritage. We will have that art on display, and it's the kickoff day, and that art will be up until June, but we specifically chose the opening day for this week. Sure. And then throughout the week, we are open as usual every single day, 9 to 4. And there will be rangers every day for people that are curious, traveling to the other events to come by and learn about World Heritage and what our park has to offer. Plus, we'll be highlighting for families the World Heritage Junior Ranger program. This is a book, a self-guided book where a kid of any age, we even have adults do these, and you can earn your Junior Ranger badge for World Heritage in addition to the other things that we have there. So that's our involvement, as well as those of you that follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We'll be highlighting particular aspects of our 5 units during that week and why they are World Heritage sites and how to visit and understand them.
Mm-hmm. And you'll also have a ranger at Newark.
Yes.
Telling the Chillicothe area story.
Yes, the very, very first day, Sunday, there will be an open house, and we will have a park ranger there. Melody can talk more about the Newark open house. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
that's your cue.
That's my cue. So actually the week starts, April 13th through the 21st, with World Heritage Day specifically being the 18th.
So next Thursday.
Yes. So we are going to celebrate all week long. Mm-hmm. But World Heritage Day is the 18th. Mm-hmm. So in Newark on Saturday the 13th, they're going to do walking tours at the Great Circle. And then on Sunday and Monday, you can experience the Great Circle, but you can also experience the Octagon, which is only open a few days right now to the public as we settle this golf course thing. But these are 2 days opportunities that Ohio History Connection will be there helping tell the story for all 8 sites. But you can actually tour the Octagon those 2 days. And then later that week, Fort Ancient's going to do some archaeological tours. They're going to do gardening and cooking demonstrations. And on the 18th in Newark on Route 70, Governor DeWine is actually going to cut ribbons on their new Travel Information Center right at the Newark exit and talk about World Heritage Day.
Oh, very cool.
So it's all coming together.
And the good thing is all this rain we've been experiencing this week is not a part of the forecast next week, and temperatures will be in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s. So again, God is smiling down on World Heritage Week in Ohio.
He's got everything aligned for us there.
He does.
For folks who have, and we have talked about this before we started, a number of us have had this in our backyards most of our lives, or maybe you transplanted here from another part of the country and have never visited to see what it's like. I noticed driving by the other day, a lot of cars. You're going to have to do something with that parking lot, I think.
Yeah, this week especially, we have had a very strong influx of people coming to visit. And that's primarily because we just had this amazing event Monday with a total solar eclipse. And what we've noticed is that people that were planning to be near totality, probably, I know some of them said they've been planning on this for anywhere from 4 to 10 years to not miss this. They decided and elected to spend longer times in Ohio so that they could visit these sites. So we have had very strong visitation every day since Saturday for people traveling to and from. But that's also something that we've been noticing since October. Since our ceremony on October 14th, we've had very good weather. If you remember, fall was a very nice fall here. It was very dry. We never saw a slowdown at Mound City during the winter. Our visitation has been up every month. And every time we have an opportunity to talk to somebody at the front desk, they have heard about World Heritage. They're curious. Many of them are from Ohio, and they've been seeing this in the news. They've been seeing this all over social media. Oh my goodness, I haven't been here since the 4th grade, and I want to come back and see what's new. This is so exciting. Or there are people that have watched this process. You know, like I said, this process of World Heritage has been going on for over 20 years. So a lot of people are excited to finally see it happen and want to come by and see what's new. And it's an opportunity for us to tell them about our sites, about our community, and help them to explore these other areas, be it Newark or Fort Ancient or all of these amazing sites we have in between. They're very eager to spend more time around the area, more of the cultural sites. There are many, many people that know of Serpent Mound and are traveling there, but on their way back want to hit the other units and understand them more. Very inquisitive, curious people, and it's every day. There's no day that's slow anymore, and that's great. That's what we're there for. That's what I'm made for. So I'm happy this is finally happening.
As an educator, and you've told the story so many times, it has to be extra special for you to have fresh blood coming in, new ears to hear what you have to share.
Yes, we're always having to really rethink what we say because we have a different type of learner coming through the door. We are constantly working on our communication to help people find their way around places, help them to understand this World Heritage concept, UNESCO, UN. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? What does that mean for me, the visitor? There's a lot of questions. So while I do talk about this and have talked about it for myself over 20 years, I'm having to rethink how I bring the material out to folks. So that's been fun. That's been interesting to help people and gauge their questions. They're what we call a purposeful traveler. They've been researching this and planning it. So they're coming with very good questions, very different questions.
Have you prepared for different languages?
Some, not as much as other partners have, but that is on our goal, is to have different things available. Because right now, like I said, we're primarily getting the Ohio traveler that's very curious, but everybody else has been sitting and planning and waiting to come. that's something that we're going to be seeing very soon is that international traveler that's been planning for this. So we have to be ready for that and prepare with some options for them to engage as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to segue into you at the local level here, Melody. I know your office has been very proactive in suggesting to businesses, especially restaurants, to maybe have their menus prepared in different languages to help these visitors that are coming here.
So one of the first things we did, because we have been getting more and more international interest, I would say actually for the last year. So they knew we were going to be up for a vote. They have the interest of coming. It's on their bucket list. So we made our website available in all languages. So the interesting thing is I can't print my visitor guide in every language in the world. Right. It's just not in my budget to do that. So we always, when we get a request, we always send the request back in their language and then link our website so they can view it in any language. We are working on our app right now to be able to do the same thing. So you can see our website is responsive on a cellular device, but we want the app to also be available in all languages, which will help you because all of your information is on.
Exactly. And I just want to add that our park could not do this alone. It just simply isn't possible for us to do all of this alone. So our partners at the Ohio History Connection, local partners here, we all have been working together, and Melody has been a very supportive partner for this for a long time. The development of the app has been monumental in helping people prepare. When people first find out about us and want to know how to visit the park, the next thing out of their mouth is, well, what are the hotels like around there? What are the restaurants like? Which I can't do, but I can turn them to the app, and that's a recommendation for anybody listening.
Right.
Even if you've lived in Chillicothe all your lives, that app is wonderful. It helps you find the restaurants. There's so many great ones that we have around here, and that is a wonderful device for visitors that are out of town to help navigate Ross County and get to areas that are sometimes difficult to find, but it helps you engage with the rest of the community.
I have to admit, as much as I know about Chillicothe, we had some friends coming in from out of town, and I was trying to determine where to take them, and I went to the app, and I thought, okay, restaurants, here we go. Let's see what.
And also events. So you can specifically say, okay, we're going to be here June 15th. What's going on June 15th?
Right.
So that is...
It's the Kenworth Truck Parade, I can tell you that.
It is the Kenworth Truck Parade.
And the National Park Service has been expanding their digital offerings too. So our NPS app is available and is free. And that's a wonderful way to navigate around our earthwork sites. We currently have Hopeton Earthworks, which is newly opened. I keep saying newly opened, but it's been open since 2016. And if you're familiar with the Bridge Street area, it's up across from Witt's. That site right now has a parking lot and a trail, but we're still working on the signage and the wayfinding there. So a great way to help you out with that is with the NPS self-guided tour for Hopeton that we have on there. And that is also like yours, a way for us to get the digital side of understanding these sites, be it different languages. That'll be the way we can get it to visitors' hands quicker than a printed media. And our printed media changes all the time. You know, that's something that is going to happen with World Heritage and has been happening, I've seen, for the past 10 years, is our research and understanding of these sites. You may have been here in the 4th grade when you were 9 years old. It's not the same story.
Yeah.
We're changing all the time because our understanding is growing, be it with the archaeology, research, or the collaboration with our tribes. Our understanding of these sites is changing all the time. Our printed media can't keep up with it.
Right.
So that's why it's really great to go to the park's social media, to our NPS app, and for our website for the most up-to-date information, because it's expensive to reprint every time something changes. But that is the best place to get that info. And that's where we can really help the visitor that's from out of state or out of the country to navigate around our sites better.
Right. Or even out of the county.
Yes. I also
Actually in the county, because I was at Hope Did and sort of got turned around myself, and I had been there several times.
Yes.
And I was trying to get to the stone.
Right. It can be hard.
And so I had to get my app out. I had to get their app out so I could say, okay, this is where I am.
One quick note about Hopeton, 5 to 8 weeks from now, it's going to be filled with wildflowers.
Yes.
It is so cool to walk through there and see the insects and their activity and everything going on as well. And you can just walk right through it and enjoy it.
It is a treasure for Chillicothe. And it is one of several success stories we have at our earthwork sites. And I really have to give a hat tip to the natural resource manager at our site, Anna. We've been working on this for a very long time, since 2017, to bring a lot of our large landscapes at our earthworks into a better land management situation. We can't mow 1,800 acres every single day throughout the summer, and trying to also get a environment that's can put you sort of back in time to how the Hopewell might have experienced this as well. So we've been returning a lot of our large acreage areas into warm season grasses, which has a variety of native flowers in them as well. And the peak time is usually early July, of just fields of wild bergamot, black-eyed Susans, and the native grasses, the blue stems. It is magical. And it's also very valuable for the integrity and the preservation of these earthworks, that the forest isn't growing back over. We have access to the research at these sites, and it's benefiting the wildlife, nesting birds, birds of prey, other insects. The pollinators have been gangbusters. We had the best monarch tagging event last year than we've ever had. Almost 42 monarchs tagged, when normally we're seeing maybe a handful, 5 or 10. That's incredible. And you can see that work at all of our units. And this year, we have a huge project to renovate the landscape at Sipe Earthworks in Bainbridge. We just received a large project to help us to put those fields back into warm season grasses, correct them, get the invasives out, the honeysuckles, the things that aren't so great, and improve those fields. So for a couple of years, you may see a weird, awkward teenager phase going on there. And then in about 3 years, you'll see fields of beautiful flowers out at Sipe as well.
Yeah, and for a drone pilot, that's a lot of cool. I mean, and photographer for that matter, it's really cool to capture those sites. So looking forward to that. Before we put a wrap on things, I want to get an update on signage, because the wayfinding, you made a pitch to the commissioners. They jumped in, the city. Where do we stand with all the wayfinding now?
So there are 86 signs total that we will have up in our area. First phase is going to be done the end of next week. So you're going to see 35 signs, and you'll see posts right now everywhere. You know, I was looking for that forever. Now I'm seeing posts everywhere. But actually, Adena Mansion and Gardens has some new signage, Buzzard's Roost, Junction Earthworks. So it's not just for Hopewell sites, because again, as people come to these sites, we want them to experience everything we have in Chillicothe.
Yeah, and I think
Stay tuned to phase 2. We're going to be working with ODOT to get some signage for Hopewell as well.
Good. Because I think the last time we saw this increased amount of signage was bicentennial time, and we're talking 2003.
It was time to get these replaced.
Yeah, so 21 years, that's a long time. Anything that we have missed, you wanted to make sure people knew?
I could talk for another couple hours, but I think we've hit all of those, all of the points. I will say that we've updated our summer events. We have some things already posted on our events calendar online. So if you can't make it out to the parks, any of these units, April 13th through the 21st, there's lots of stuff planned for the rest of spring and the rest of summer. So get out and explore them, even if all you want to do is take a walk. They're lovely places just to go for a walk.
Absolutely.
We do have Archaeology Day at the Historical Society this Saturday.
Tomorrow
from 10 to 2.
Yes.
So stop in and
and
check
we will have park rangers there as well. Thank you for bringing that up, Melody.
If you have heard it said, there's never anything to do in Chillicothe, something's wrong with you. Check your pulse, because there's
Or
something always
visit
going on.
chillicotheohio.com and you'll see all there is to do.
Precisely. And if you have something to share, get a hold of you.
Get a hold of us. We want to put your events out on our calendar of events.
Yeah, and it's visit chillicotheohio.com. Susan Knisley and, of course, Melody Young, thank you so much for stopping in today.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for watching as well. And again, if you want to find out more details, we've got a few of the hyperlinks that you'll find in this post to be able to find both these locations and more. Thanks for watching this special edition of Litter Media Live.